Hello, Master Manifester. Today we're talking about scripted self-talk and using it for manifestation. So, self-talk is a sort of therapy tool that helps you retrain your thoughts and your story narrative to be more conducive to focusing on success. Okay? So, when you focus on something, your reticular activating system kicks in and says, "We pay attention to this. This is our experience." Right? And when your thoughts come in, they're story options. They're like a narrative of, oh, this means this. Oh, this experience means this. This sensation in my body, this emotion has this interpretation, right? And these are the things that you want to train. This is your program. So using things like affirmations is like the code that you use to program your mind to tell you what you want. Now, the scripted self-talk is specifically so you can say, I want to have this kind of story. Now, I love my brain. It is so good with coming up with things I would have never thought of. And believe me, the story will always tell itself better than you nitpicking the details, right? You want an overall experience. Like if I tell my brain, okay, I want to see more of flowers, right? I love flowers. I'm a big flower fan. So, I'm like, okay, I want to see more flowers, but like as many as possible, right? Let me notice as many flowers as possible. And I want them to be like my favorite kind, right? This is where you're guiding the story instead of trying to tell the story what to be. Because we as humans aren't that great at predicting what will, make us feel good. Sometimes, yes, it is exactly on, but a lot of the time we get there and we're like, well, this is exactly what I ordered, but it doesn't taste right, right? It's almost like ordering a meal. Like, oh, I want this and it looks really good on the menu, but then you get it and you're like, well, this is it, but I don't feel the way that I thought I'd feel about it. And then you just change trajectory. That's why the story is so good for using stories instead of trying to set one tiny specific intention, which can sometimes be too broad or sometimes be too specific. And you want your story to have characteristics, right? You want it to have tone and texture. What is the music doing, right? What kind of music is playing? What kind of sounds, what kind of setting are you in? Where are you sitting? Where are you at? Right? Where do you want to be? What feels good? But also understand that every story has contrast. You will never not be without the icky emotions that we don't like most of the time. We appreciate them, but they don't feel good, like sadness, anger, anxiety, just desperation, that feeling of expectation but not getting it, disappointments. These aren't feel good emotions, but they're directing emotions. They're not meant to feel good, they're meant to direct. And you will always have those in every context of every manifestation while you are a human being. So it's important to recognize that contrast. And even sometimes I like to choose which contrast, what do I want to be annoyed by? What do I want to complain about, right? What feels like it's okay to complain about and I don't want it to be any different, because that's something that creates contrast in my story and makes me recognize my own projections and my own needs and my own reflections of the shadows that I didn't know were there, right? So that's how you shape a story. That's how you script your self-talk to be more productive. Now, if your self-talk is still kind of negative, and every once in a while, even if you've trained it a lot, which I have too, every once in a while, it's still going to come back with something that's like, oh, that's never going to work. Or maybe you just have a day where it's just like on and on. Your body feels terrible. It keeps producing all these terrible emotions and your brain's just giving you nonsense. Let it be then. It's okay. Feel into that feeling. Let those feelings be there and be like, look, the good thoughts are coming back. They're coming back in force. This is what's clearing out. This is the old program that I have to see so that I can get my new story. But when you see these things, just be like, okay, nope, nope, nope. You don't even necessarily have to direct it, especially if you're feeling a lot of emotion. Don't try to do too much. Just be like, not that. Yeah, I see it. Not that. Not that. Okay, let's feel this instead. And then ease your attention in that direction. Don't force it. Don't be like, no, we can't have those emotions. This is not toxic positivity time. No, every emotion is valid. Every emotion is welcome. Even if it's not comfortable, it doesn't have to be comfortable. You don't have to be comfortable 100% of the time, because then you're not going to be used to being uncomfortable. And as human beings, we're always going to deal with discomfort. So it's better to choose the evils in our world if we can. But always recognize too that this is a story. This is an unfolding, and every part of it is useful. Just like every emotion is valid, even when the experience isn't comfortable, when you can look into, yes, this is happening, but why and where is it taking me? Where are we going next? That's not an endpoint either. The negative points are not endpoints either. So always remember that as your story is evolving. And when you're training your thoughts, check in with yourself all the time and be like, hey, thoughts, I want this kind of thoughts. Tell me this about myself. Tell me these things about myself. Tell me that I'm a princess. Tell me that I rule the world. Tell me that, I'm the master of my, whatever it is that makes you feel solid, safe, free, right? This is what you want your mind to be telling you, but you also need to guide it and direct it specifically. And this is where things like affirmations or thought streams or journaling comes in, where you are teaching your mind what kind of thoughts to give you and what you will pay attention to. So you don't want to ignore the thoughts that you don't like. You just want to acknowledge, yes, that's there, but I don't like that one. So let's move on to the next one. That's just not the menu item I thought it was going to be, or not the one I ordered, right? So I hope this helps you to have some understanding how you can use this, scripted self-talk to train your thoughts, to experience the kind of story in life that you want to have, and to train your reticular activating system, your brain, to notice the things that you want to notice. And if you want to hear more manifestation videos through science, neuroscience, biology, then please like and subscribe and sign up for the Method News newsletter in the description below.